What a joke. What a joke. What a joke. Hit the like button before we even get started. Let's just start off the night like this. Hit the like button and let's have a conversation. And we are going to have conversations about some things tonight. But I just want to start off with what a joke. I need all American patriots in the house too. I need everybody, but mainly American patriots. I want to have a sidebar conversation with you. But this is I've never in all my years. I think we'll ask AI what time is 8 o'clock in the United States. East Coast versus Iran. Because we got different sources, news sources saying different things, and it's kind of confusion. We're going to take a look at the New York Times in a second. And they're saying the old ceasefire. What old ceasefire? The ceasefire it was just announced, bro. It's only Wednesday, bro. He said, remember when Kanye West went on that rant and was like, yo, tomorrow I'm going to wake up and go DEFCON 3 on the Jews. And then he woke up and he wasn't a billionaire anymore. It's crazy. And shout out to Ye, because I'm not at your concert, beloved, but I wish I was there. I'm seeing what's going on and I wish I was there. You had Miss Hill come out. I wish I was there. And it looked like they're trying to shut you down again. They're shutting down your London shows, Jay. So keep your head up out there. This is even after you groveled to one of the rabbis and apologized. I don't know what you apologize for, because I'm never apologizing for my words. You understand? Identity theft is a crime. And the Ashkenazis have no relation to the Judeans. But that's neither here nor there. Tonight, I don't want to really talk about the Jews. The Jews can relax. The Israelis, however, cannot relax. The Israelis, they cannot relax. This announcement was just made. Sunday, President Trump said he went crazy. Was like, yo, check this out on Tuesday. I'm bombing bridges. I'm bombing nuclear plants. Yo. You keep playing around. Then he started using profanity. He started yelling at the top of his lungs. Open up the fucking strait. It was crazy. It was nuts. I'm like, yo, what is he doing? What is he doing? That's not how you should perform. You should not. Remember that commercial? Never let them see you sweat? That. Hello? Never let him see you sweat. He was wilding. Open up the fucking strait, you idiots. That did not give off. Yo, I got the whole thing under control. It's all good here. It gave off panic. Then you mocked their God. That was crazy. You watch and see. All praise be to Allah. Nuts. I've never. I like to see some people act politically incorrect. We get a kick out of that, and we always have. Americans, we get a kick out of it. We watch Archie Bunker do it. We laugh for years. We watch George Jefferson do it. We laugh for years. He's around here calling people hunky and cracker. You understand? Archie Bunker is out here calling people moolies. And the blacks, it was entertaining. You understand? But this is also an era where, you can joke with your friends, call each other fags. I didn't mean somebody was gay. It's a funny word. And then, yeah. But this political incorrectness is not. It's not funny because it's your leader. So it's your leader, and he's out here. Where's my wolf tickets? Hold on. Somebody asked me, "Do I have you got any wolf tickets?" And I told her I keep a pair of wolf tickets. You understand? He's out here selling wolf tickets, and I'm out here selling wolf tickets, and it's inflating the wolf ticket value. That's the problem. Now the value of these is gonna go down because he's out here making promises he can't keep. Yo, we can keep the straight. We can protect your merchandise. No, you can. Who told you this? We'll do the. Jamel, just shut up. We'll do the same thing we did in Venezuela. What? What did you do in Venezuela? First of all, don't get me started on Venezuela. Innocent people died that nobody's bringing up. I don't even know if you legally have this man locked up. I don't know if it's legal. I don't know what's going on. But we'll get to that. Tonight we're going to talk about some things, but I don't want to talk about what we're going to talk about yet because right now we're being listened to in surveillance by YouTube at least for 45 minutes so they can see what I'm going to talk about before they really allow the show to, they'll invite more people once they say, oh, Jamel's been a good boy. Which, in fact, I will not be a good boy in 45 minutes. Facts. But we don't want to do that yet. So let's play ball. And we want to talk about this ceasefire, which I'm not going to lie. It came across my feed that oil prices are plunging and the stock market is surging. And I said, that's the first thing I read. And I'm like, wait, what the fuck happened? Did something change? And sure enough, a ceasefire. I said, oh. Well, I understand why everybody's happy. So before I go to NPR, who did I go to? I think I went to Cenk. I heard Cenk from the Young Turks first. No, actually, it might have been CNN. This lady here.
Just an hour and a half away from that deadline, President Trump seconds ago taking to Truth Social to say that he is talking to Pakistani officials, and based on that conversation, he will agree to stop bombing for 2 weeks. He also says that Iran has agreed to open the Strait of Hormuz for that time period. So I'm going to read part of this to you. It says, he says subject to the Islamic Republic of Iran agreeing to the complete, immediate, and safe opening of the Strait of Hormuz, so they still have to agree. I agree to suspend the bombing and attack of Iran for a period of 2 weeks. This will be a double-sided ceasefire. The reason for doing so is that we have already met and exceeded all military objectives and are very far along with the definitive agreement concerning long-term peace with Iran.
Stop. Just stop right there. This is what makes it aggravating and stupid at the same time. Just stop. We all know President Trump's style, right? He is the type to give me the phone and get busy himself. He gets busy himself. If he did not write that physically himself, he said the words and somebody else typed it because that's just how he gets down. Now, he said, based on conversations with Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif and Field Marshal Asim Munir of Pakistan. By the way, Pakistan, I'm not going to say brokered, but played referee in this talk. right? And wherein they requested that I hold off, despite him trying to sound tough and like, yeah, they wanted to. And we're going to get to Pete Hegseth saying, Iran begged. They begged for this. I never trusted Pete Hegseth from before they assigned the position to him. I said, this is not the guy. This is not the guy. This may be the guy in the movies, right? He has the perfect hair, the fucking borderline Nazi tattoos. I don't know what those tattoos are. They're like the reverse of the Nazi. Like, he's an extremist. That's what I seen. I said, oh, he's the reverse Nazi guy. He's Nazi in reverse. He's an extremist. He'll do anything for Israel. I've seen that. So this is not the guy. So him and President Trump are out here bragging. Oh, they wanted it. They wanted it so bad. All right. And where they requested that I hold off the destruction force being sent tonight to Iran. Word. And subject to the Islamic Republic of Iran agreeing to the complete, immediate, and safe opening of the Strait of Hormuz, I agreed to suspend the bombing and attack of Iran for a period of 2 weeks. This will be double-sided ceasefire. The reason for doing so. Now, let's take this. Let's break this down. The reason for doing so is that we have already met and exceeded all military objectives. I do not know what your objectives are. I swear. You know, for you guys that just started subscribing to my channel, I appreciate you. That's number one. You just got here. You don't know much of me until I start telling you about myself. 15 years in IT. Started as a help desk coordinator. Someone who just takes tickets. And I made my way all the way to IT manager and project manager over those years. The last time I worked in IT, I was an IT manager / project manager. I was project manager on some side consultant jobs and IT manager for one of these well-known startups. I took project management course in while I was finishing my master's. And you have to get a certain amount of hours, right? And for you to get you actually get for them to give you the certification. So I'm doing whatever I need to do. I'm asking my boss, yo, I need some hours. He's hooking me up with a couple of hours for so I could get my certification. But still in all, I never had the confidence of a project manager, because still, until you are on the job and you fuck something up, right? Until you're in a position to fuck something up, it's all theoretical. Until they slap you on the ass and say, "Go get him, champ. Go get him." Right? So when I was slapped on the ass and "Go get him, champ," I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I'm in this stand-up meeting and I'm nervous as shit. My boss is like, you want a little help with this? Yeah. So, okay, we doing the card shit. I don't know what this shit is. I wish there was AI. It wasn't even like ChatGPT where I can have him in my ear or something like that. I'm just fucking up. And fucking up is good sometimes because it you learn that way. That's how I learned how to backflip. It was a dusty mattress outside, and I said, I think I can do a backflip. And I went outside and I landed on my neck. And I did this shit again. And it was crooked, and I did it again. I did it again. Same way you're gonna learn to ride a bike. You're gonna fuck up. So I never really had the confidence that I was a good project manager. And I would always put other people ahead of me. Like, nah, that guy's good. That guy's... Then I realized... Yo, some of y'all don't know what the fuck y'all doing, right? I went out and brought all these books, ITIL, and I brought all these books, Project Manager. I'm busting my ass. My wife is like, come to bed. I'm like, nah, I don't know if I thought they were born with these fucking skills. A lot of people, when I found out, they really didn't know what the fuck they were doing. But they had the confidence. I said, oh, I'm lacking the confidence, but I know what I'm doing. These people have the fucking confidence of a honey badger. And they don't know what the fuck they are doing. I assure you this. This is not up for debate. So it's two things here. It's two things. This fucking guy, what's good, bro? It's two things. Either they don't know what they're doing and they have the highest level of confidence, or they know exactly what they're doing. And both are not good. Because he said, we exceeded all military objectives. What were your objectives? What were the objectives? What did we accomplish? Need I remind you? The first casualties were a school full of girls, human students, human girls, right? It's easy to compartmentalize your morality in your head because you are somewhere and these people are somewhere else and they don't look like you and it doesn't really affect you if they die. So what? So what? We'll get to that. We'll get to the so what. Tell me when 45 minutes hits you, I'm going to tell you the so what. What does the so what mean? So what, dude? I don't live there. It doesn't affect me. I don't think he was supposed to be blowing up schools. Especially after bragging that they can pinpoint their missiles. So if you can pinpoint your missiles, why did we blow up a school full of young, innocent children? Why did we do that? What goals, objectives did we meet if you was just screaming on Sunday? It is only Tuesday, my friend. What the fuck did you do in 2 days besides recapture your own soldiers from the mountains after a botched attempt to do God knows what? God knows what. So we had to send out a rescue mission for the fucking experts. The experts had to go get the experts for some fucking cockamamie harebrained scheme. I assure you that Donald probably drafted up his fucking self because they fired all of the generals and the military lawyers who had all the experience. And they was left with jackasses and jackoffs who would just shake their head. Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's do that. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, that sounds good. All right, let's 1, 2, 3, go. Let's get them, USA. Huh? Jackoffs. Hold on, let me show you this as we read this. Put this over here. And we'll put this right here. There we go. All right. It says, hey, sure, I ran, did some business with his father in the olive oil business. I agreed to suspend the bombing and attack of Iran for a period of 2 weeks. This will be double-sided ceasefire. The reason for doing so is that we have already met and exceeded all military objectives. I don't know what those objectives are. And are very far along with a definitive agreement concerning long-term peace. Long-term peace, huh? Long-term peace. A couple of hours. A couple of hours. It's already going south. Long-term peace. It's already going south. And it's going south. You thought it was going to be that. Oh, Trump talks so much shit. Instead of keeping it real. And let me tell you something. He was probably happy as a faggot in jail. He was. Because he was trying to find a way out. No. Them Israelis gave you money, bro. You thought it was going to be that easy? They done already botched the deal. They are still out here shooting, bombing Lebanon after the ceasefire. And the deal's almost back off again. Just like that. The shit just started. Just started. Ceasefire 2 weeks. Oh, wait, hold on. Nope. No ceasefire for 2 weeks. Let's see what... I want to see what New York Times has to say. J.D. Vance, you better get your shit together, too. Hold on 1 second. Oh, not that. Hold on. All right. Here's the New York Times. Iran war live update ceasefire. This was updated 41 minutes ago. Tested by confusion over Strait and strikes on Lebanon. So, this morning, I wake up to there's going to be a ceasefire 2 weeks. For 2 weeks. By the time I get home from work and take a shower, the ceasefire is almost destroyed. Let us find out why. Even as the status of the Strait of Hormuz remained unclear and U.S. and Iranian officials issued dueling threats to resume attacks if the ceasefire fell apart, both countries had reason to hope it held together. Well, I'm going to keep it real. I had read some reports and heard some reports that Iran was not delusional. And why would Iran be delusional when multiple agreements between the U.S. and Iran have been violated and breached by the U.S.? I don't think they were stupid. I don't think... Yeah, this effing guy. We're going to get to that in one goddamn second, this effing guy. 1 second, we're going to get to exactly what you said. I don't think they were stupid. And I think Trump was like, yes, we finally I can get out of this. But Netanyahu was not about to let him go out like that. Listen, the people of Israel This man does not care for you either. Because if he's willing to put you in a predicament, knowing Iran is not playing any type of games, they're not playing games. The other day we did a rescue and we wasted over $500 million in machinery. Over $500 million in weaponry was basically destroyed in that rescue. Now, this administration is coming back and asking for $1.5 trillion. Of course, when you go through all of this money, a lot of it is going to be for war. And I'm telling you, like I told you last night, it's not going to work. They're panicking right now to keep the petrodollar, and it's not going to, I don't think it's going to work. I don't think it's going to work. And furthermore, these are real lives here on this planet, right? Real people are dying. It may not be your kids, and you're saying right now, it's not a big deal. These people, they hate America. We'll get to why they hate America in about 20 minutes. We'll get to that. His buddy, the people that gave him money, would not let us out of it so easy. And they didn't. They just like when they gave him the money and they wanted him right away. Go start trouble right away. As soon as he accepted the money from them, it's the same thing. The ceasefire did not last 24 hours, and they continued to bomb Lebanon. Now, if you want to know why they're bombing Lebanon, they claim that Lebanon is the center for Hezbollah. Let me remind everybody, we would not have this situation if nobody gave these fucking people a state in the first place. They did not deserve. They do not deserve a fucking place. They claim, oh, we need a place for the holy people. So get a place for the real holy people, because you are not the holy people. You are Khazarians. You are the lineage of Khazaria. I've never seen a more delusional fucking people in all of my years. You were savages then, and by the look of things, you are savages fucking now. It says, here's the latest. The day-old ceasefire between the United States and Iran was being tested on Wednesday by uncertainty over the status of the economically vital Strait of Hormuz and disagreement over whether the truce applied to Lebanon, where Israel continued to carry out punishing attacks. Well, Caroline, you're disappointing. And JD Vance, you're disappointing.
Is there any thought, though, that the president might like to see Lebanon included at a future date?
Hold on. This is Caroline.
Would President Trump like to see Lebanon included in this peace deal? As you know, there have been increased Israeli strikes on Lebanon today with dozens of casualties there.
Sure. Lebanon is not part of the ceasefire. That has been relayed to all parties involved in the ceasefire.
Obviously, it was not related. And Pakistan says it was part of the ceasefire. Now, my question is, you guys are not fucking, none of this is being put on paper? What the fuck kind of negotiations are these primitive negotiations where people just sit around and smoke hookah and be like, listen, what I think we should do, this is good shit. I got a hookah guy. I'll put you on, but let's after. Yeah. I got you. Now, what I think, I got 15 points. Was this a fucking verbal agreement? What kind of bullshit agreement was this that Pakistan is saying, no, it was? So Pakistan and Iran are saying it was. Lebanon was part of the agreement. And Israel and the United States, not for nothing. I live here, but not for nothing. I can't trust Donald Trump, Pete Hegseth, now fucking Caroline Leavitt. I once trusted her. I don't know if I trusted her. I just some outfits she got on is sexy. Trust is a big fucking word. I never trusted Caroline, but some outfits she got on, I'm like, okay, Caroline. But now we're way past that, baby girl. You got yourself knocked up as soon as you got in fucking office. So the thrill is gone. And now you're out here doing shit that really, you're the new Jean Pierre. Right? Just, I don't know. Just, you're an automaton. You're just given instructions and you do them. And you say these things. And I can't trust, obviously, Benjamin Netanyahu. I don't even think that guy's fucking, like, human, like, Homo sapien sapien. Obviously, he's a humanoid, but obviously, I think he's some mixed breed of reptilian. His fucking level of evil. I don't think levels of evil is like when at that level, when it's so high, you know, where you could just commit genocide at that degree. I don't think that's normal.
As you know, Prime Minister Netanyahu put out a statement last night in support of the ceasefire.
Why can America? I said I wanted you here tonight. I said I wanted the Patriots here. Why is Caroline Leavitt bringing up what the fuck Benjamin Netanyahu had to say about anything in an American press conference about what Donald Trump wanted? Short answer is because what this effing guy just said in my chat. This is the United States of Israel. That's what the fuck this is. And you should be livid. Oh, you should be livid. That's what this is. Charlie says Trump lost the Iran war. He lost, but he's acting. Everything he says, it's like a win. In his head, it's a win.
In support of the United States' efforts, and he's also a short.
What in support of the United States' efforts? This was not our fucking war. According to sources, Israel told the United States, "We're gonna bomb Iran regardless. So you have to come in. You have to come in with us." How did this become our war? Unless it really is. And we need that fucking oil. And we're making it seem like propaganda. We're being lied to. Right? So we got mental psyops on the people. The citizens don't know what to believe. But I'm going to bring you some facts tonight. Right? I'm going to bring you some facts tonight. Right after I scream at my daughter for bringing me... I need something to drink. Hold on. I told her to bring me something to drink 20 minutes ago. Hold on. All right. She says she's coming with the drink.
What you want?
Anything. Wash your hands, put some ice in it.
We don't
Hey.
have ice.
I don't wash your hands then. And just pour me something cold to drink.
Okay.
All right. Now, where do I want to go? I know where I want to go. I know where I want to go. Hold on. I want to go here. We still got some time before I got a lesson for everybody. But I'm not going to
For killing themselves. I mean, what is this logic?
I'm not going to start teaching yet. But trust and believe I got a lesson. Hit the like button, everybody. I found this girl. I don't know who she is. Oh, Abby Martin. I don't know. She has like a rough voice. I don't know if she's really blonde.
Apartheid, genocidal, maniac, serial killing, pathologically lying state, isolated, shame anyone who goes there. Academics, celebrities, politicians, and they've been exposed for what they are. And Zionism's on its last leg. It only exists by the weight of its propaganda, and that propaganda has collapsed entirely. The world sees Israel for what it is, and it can't last for long in its current state. You cannot expect change in a society this far gone. It is full-throated fascist. And that's why they act the way they do, with full, total impunity, because they have no humanity left. This is a society so far gone with protection of a military empire with hatred in their hearts. And we're seeing essentially the Fourth Reich today, marching.
She's fed up. I have not seen so many people just say how it is and say what they feel in so long. Uncle Andy's in the building. Uncle Andy, I got a good class today, Uncle Andy. I got a good class today.
Forward. And there's no allied forces coming to save us. The Israeli Knesset just passed a law allowing the execution of Palestinian prisoners, but not Israelis. This is the true face of apartheid Israel. But this is nothing new. I saw that.
Thank you. All right. Thank you.
This firsthand when I was in Israel back in 2016. Full-throated fascism.
You can't deal with these people. There's no need to try. There's no need to talk to them.
There's only one way. I would carpet bomb them.
You would carpet bomb them?
He said he would carpet bomb them. Bro, do you even know? It's like, do they teach the history of how these people got over there in that state? That they fucking begged and cried and said, yo, this is why we need a land, because Hitler is doing these things to us. I'm definitely starting to see why you guys got kicked out of so many fucking countries. I don't know who these people are. They're so fucking weird. It's like I don't even know if they're human. That's how weird and evil they are collectively on code. They're mad because they went and took somebody else's land. And when the people said, fine, you can have a little piece, and the United States has agreed to give aid to smooth the deal over, but stay there, don't move. They said, no problem. We're just going to take another inch. And they said, no. I said, don't move. No, we heard you. We're only going to take like a foot more. God damn it. Are you listening to what language do you speak? Are you understanding me? I understand everything you said. We're only going to take 2 more miles. That's it. But I promise by the end of the year, it will be no more than maybe 3,000 miles that we have taken. This is nothing. This is nothing, my friend. So they stopped you from fucking taking more and more of their land and in a place where you shouldn't fucking be. You should not be there. And then anybody that speaks like me, what you do is you cry to the American government and to the publicists and to the advertising. You say these people, they're anti-Semitic, which is a fucking bullshit made up word. It is a compound word. We understand what anti means is against. It's the Shemitic part for me. I'm not against the languages of Shem. So, how you had so much power to redefine a fucking made up bullshit word to mean the hatred of Jews, which you are not even related to the Judean people. This shit is absurd and ridiculous. Now it's ridiculous, right? And now it just raises more red flags. Like, who are you fucking individuals? Straight up, who are you guys? I have no idea who you are, but you're evil.
It's the only way you could deal with it.
I didn't realize this. I didn't realize how viscerally, grotesquely genocidal Israelis were. How openly fascist they would be to anyone.
Jews shouldn't marry Arabs.
Shouldn't marry Arabs. Why do you feel strongly about that?
Because Jews is a special nation that God gave it to the Jews. We don't want the Arabs to be here.
They knew that they were on...
This is fucking delusional, bro. And then you teach your kids this shit. Now let me tell the rest of the world something. This is why we have to take it serious. Because while the world slept on these Khazarians, if you don't know the truth, you got to go back and do the history, right? When they actually started to move up into Upper Europe, they would not even allow certain jobs. Certain guilds would keep them out. So they were forced to do certain jobs like exchange money for people. And they went deep into finance, pawn shops and money exchangers. But let me tell you the value of solidarity. Them knowing that even though we're a pack of fucking wolf thieves, if we stick together, we can accomplish something. And they did. And they didn't do it through brute force. They did it through a plan and ideology. Oh, ideology is so powerful. We underestimate ideology. Because that will live on even when the people die off. It would live into someone's offspring. So you can teach your offspring. You are the chosen one. They're going to believe this shit. These Jewish kids are really running around believing they are the chosen ones. Americans, we have to stay on code with each other. We have to not fall for the big productions of white cops that shoot black kids, and they engineer this anger that's gonna take everyone's focus. They stopped doing it for a second. They're known to reutilize the playbook. That's why it's called the playbook. They could just turn the play. Yo, let's go back to this, right? There was an operation called Operation Northwoods, where the United States suggested that we kill our own soldiers in order to get the support of our citizens to go to war. We didn't use that idea right then and there, but sometime later, 2001, some would suggest that those Twin Towers were brought down demolition style. I would suggest that because I seen that shit. And Building 7, pancake style. We can all stop acting like we didn't see this shit. It happened. And to admit it would be to admit that the United States sacrificed some people. We could sit here. This is why I don't listen to extreme black people either, because they're still mad. I like Rizza Islam, but he's still out here talking down on fucking white people. Listen, if you're a white person and you didn't do shit to me, and you don't got no animosity against me, I don't got no fucking animosity against you, and I'm not gonna hate you because of your skin color and because of some shit that some older white people did. I don't even know if you know those fucking white people. You understand? I don't even know if you give a shit about your great grandfather. I don't know. I know me and you are here now, and we're being fucking led to a slaughterhouse. So if you want to work with me, I want to work with you. I'm not interested in someone who's just trying to rile people up. Yo, fuck the white man and fuck the black man. And no. Let dumb people deal with their stupidity on their own. They got a place for them. And I will talk about that place tonight. But we got something more serious to address. Because it is our rights that are being eroded away. And the capacity and the opportunity is getting smaller and smaller to do something about it. They're just encroaching in on every one of our rights as we take up time not working with each other. But the real power comes from working together, just like in the Tower of Babel. When those people were working together to build the tower, in the story, Yahweh gets scared. And he doesn't even want to face us on his own. So he says, yo, let us. He goes back to the other gods and he says, let us go down there. Do something about this shit. Why you can't come yourself? Ain't you a god? Well, he said because they are one. And they have one language and one mind. He said there is nothing that they cannot do. That's what the books say. The books say that. There's nothing that they can't do. That's powerful. And the only people who have fucking listened so far to that advice are fraudulent identity thieves running around masquerading as the descendants of Judeans. Nuts. But it's working for them. They fucking control everything. They control Hollywood. They control finance. They control every fucking thing. Law. So maybe we need another strategy. And this is why I didn't give a fuck about Charlie Kirk. This is why Charlie Kirk with his weird shaped head came off like an asshole to me, because he showed up to colleges just to gaslight white kids to hate fucking black kids, and then you leave. Fuck that guy. Fuck that guy. If he's even dead. I don't even know if he's dead. They run so many plays. He could be in fucking Barbados right now. I don't know where. They run so many plays. But let's keep going.
Camera. That's what's so alarming to me, too. I wasn't trying to hide. I wasn't doing gotcha journalism. I was going up with a camera and saying, generally, what do you think about the situation?
I think he's
Not nowadays, original man. Not nowadays.
Israelis have to take over, and they have to kick them away.
I was so horrified and alarmed at the genocidal rhetoric that was being espoused. Every single person, for every generation, every walk of life, they wanted ethnic cleansing. They said we should nuke them. One little girl laughing, we should kill all Arabs. Kill all Arabs.
We need to kill the Arabs. No.
Oh boy. It's all fucking fun and games. It's all fucking fun and games till Iran he get his hands on a nuke. Oh! If there's a God in heaven, please. It's all fucking fun and games till one Iranian gets his hands on all the material he needs for a nuke. Please! Please!
It shows you the impunity back then. The arrogance to just assume this is what you guys think too, right? You're an American, you agree with me. You guys have been doing the same thing. This is who we are. We're proud racists. We're proudly fascist. I felt like I was walking into Berlin in 1932. I really felt absolutely disgusted. I just couldn't believe what I was hearing. I mean, just walking a couple steps, and as white as I am, are you Arab? Are you Arab? And I'm like, what? I'm an American. Oh, good. We can talk about Arabs then. We can talk about how much we hate Palestinians. I saw the writing on the wall back then. I saw that there's no hope from within Israeli society. I went to rallies where they were calling to kick all the refugees out. You know, these were things that we're told Israel's a safe haven for Holocaust survivors, for genocide survivors. Well, why are all the African refugees put out in the middle of the Negev desert into a concentration camp?
Yo, this shit gets me so tight. And do remember when I taught you guys about Operation Joshua and Operation Moses, where they went and got the Ethiopians. They stole 14,000, huh? And then they brought them to Israel. And then they're doing the worst with them over there, as I hear, giving them birth control pills and allegedly, I heard all they really wanted was I think they wanted the location of the Ark of the Covenant.
Why don't they want any African refugees there? They tokenize Ethiopian refugees, but then they make them take Depo-Provera birth control because they don't want them to reproduce. This is the nature of Israeli society. It's an ethno-state, and it's built on supremacy and hate, because that's what Zionism is.
How many civilians have been killed in Gaza, from what you know?
Who gives a shit?
Jesus Christ.
Okay, but don't you feel like, for example, children?
Children grow up to be Arabs.
You have to continue to expel, you have to continue to kill to keep that artificial majority in place.
If you gave me a button to just erase Gaza, every single living being.
No, it's not as an option. If it was as an option, I can see. They're forcing them to take the birth control because they don't want them to populate. But they brought them there and made it look to the world like, hey, we're going to rescue them. But that's not what they did at all. Yeah, Huey. Yeah, I know the name looks crazy.
In Gaza would no longer be living tomorrow, I would press it in a second. I would press it right now. Give me that button. I'd press it right now.
There you go.
And I think most Israelis would.
That's okay because the sentiment is mutual. You can give a bunch of us that same button to fucking get rid of Tel Aviv, and I swear to you, I would press it with all my fucking might and go to bed like a hard-working man needed just an hour of sleep. I'll be knocked out. Wake up, forgot I even fucking pushed the button, right? I'm talking about all type of silly shit. Hey, you making pancakes this morning, babe? Pancakes? Do you know what you did last night? What? I know I wasn't myself. What? I was a little off my game. I'm not talking about that, you asshole. You pressed the button. What? Oh, yeah. Press the button. Fucking Tel Aviv. Yeah, pull that up. Let's see that fucking hole in the earth. I want to see. Get on those pancakes and let me look at this hole in the earth. Should have never gave you guys a fucking land. I swear to God. Hitler doesn't look so bad now, huh? Now he looks like just a fucking weirdo guy with a mustache, huh? Where's a weirdo guy with a mustache when you need him? Jesus.
During the Gaza genocide, to see people just proclaim out in the open the genocidal incitement.
It's an entire nation out there that is responsible.
אנחנו משמידים את כל מה שעוד נשאר מהרצועה ולא משאיר.
I don't understand how they could forget so fucking fast. Like, so fast. You forgot that your people were in a situation and you asked the whole entire world to remember and you claim this was the worst thing that could ever happen. I just don't understand how you could turn right around. I'm talking about as soon as you get a new place and terrorize that fucking place. That's not normal. That's just not normal, man.
אבן על אבן, גם מים אנחנו לא צריכים לתת לרצועת עזה. אנחנו מפרקים את עזה ומשאירים אותה כאויי חרבות עם הרס מוחלט וחסר תקדים בעולם.
זכור את אשר עשה לך עמלק, נצטווינו. אנו זוכרים ואנו נלחמים.
It was heinous and horrifying, but finally people saw Israel for what it is. It's all been exposed.
All right. Jesus. So, if you're just joining us, we're trying to figure out why there was a ceasefire and agreement negotiated by Pakistan between the United States, Israel, and Iran. President Trump seemed happy about it, leaving a paragraph of obvious lies. This will be a double-sided ceasefire. The reason for doing so is so that we have already met and exceeded all military objectives. We don't know what that means, and we don't believe you because you just had to do a rescue mission where you put people's U.S. soldiers' lives in danger, obviously on a cockamamie harebrained scheme to do some bullshit over there, and it failed, and then you had to send in some other paramilitary guys to come save those guys. And it says, and are very along with a definitive agreement concerning long-term peace with Iran. Long-term peace, one fucking day. And peace in the Middle East. No, not you, Donald. That used to be you. Not anymore, man. Not anymore. You became a whore for fucking Israel. And I do believe, like Mark Epstein said, there is a picture of you allegedly giving fucking Bubba a BJ. A BJ. That's what Mark Epstein said. Mark Epstein said that Putin has a picture of you giving Bill Clinton a BJ. And I said, nah, not Donald J. Trump. But look at what you do for Israel. It's easy to believe. It said, we received a 10-point proposal from Iran and believe that it is a workable basis on which to negotiate. Almost all of the various points of past contention have been agreed to between the United States and Iran. But a 2-week period will allow the agreement to be finalized and consummated. Consummated is crazy. On behalf of the United States of America as president and also representing the countries of the Middle East, it is an honor to have this long-term problem close to resolution. Now for you, psych. That was you thought you had a friend. Psych. You thought Netanyahu was going out like that? Them Israelis ain't going out like that, bro. How much they give you? $100 million? And you thought they was going out like that, sucker? They're not going out like that. Yeah. He thought he had a friend. I wanna shift the conversation. How long we been here? 1 hour. That's good enough. We could shift now. YouTube only listens to me for about an hour to see if I'm gonna stay on track. If I don't stay on track, they will lower the numbers right then and there. But after an hour, if they like, okay, he's cool, they leave me alone. So let's start the show. Hold up, let me pull up. I made some slides, but they are out of order. And I'm going to continue to read them out of order. I'm not even going to fix them. All right. Let's just start here. Uncle Andy, get your notebook ready. Some of this stuff I did not know, and some of this stuff I knew, Uncle Andy. Now, we obviously know, tonight I'm going to talk about surveillance. Tonight I'm going to talk about national security a little bit, how that affects you. But it's a little bit deeper than how it just affects you, right? That's the shocking part. Like, wait a minute, I want to go a little bit more into detail on how some of these things unfolded. Just a tad bit, a smidgen, if you will. Shout out to everyone who's coming across. 2 nights in a row, I'm seeing some of you guys. Hit the like button for your boy. Hit the like button and do subscribe if you are just new here. Huspa. Yeah. Shout out to Michael Robinson is in the house. The terrorist surveillance program inside America's post 9/11 legal crisis. Now, we're going to jump around a little bit. Let's just get into it. You'll walk away with what you walk away with. So, after the September 11 attacks, the Bush administration launched a classified national security NSA surveillance program that bypassed normal legal channels, igniting one of the most dramatic constitutional confrontations in modern American history. All right? Come on, what are you doing? Here we go. Now, I told you my slides are out of order and I'm not going to fix them, so I'm going to go back before 9/11. And I want to talk about a guy named Osama bin Laden. Osama bin Laden's journey from a privileged background to the leader of the Al-Qaeda was shaped by a confluence of personal decisions, geopolitical events, and deeply held grievances. Okay, this is the part I wasn't aware of. I had to do some research, Uncle Andy. And to me, Osama bin Laden had been the face of Afghanistan for so long, I thought he was an Afghan. I had no idea he was from Saudi Arabia. I didn't. Born in an influential Saudi family, bin Laden received a strong education in Jeddah, studying business and engineering before his radicalization. During the 1980s, he leveraged his wealth and connections to fund operations and organize foreign volunteers, not as a direct military commander, intersecting with covert U.S. efforts. Well, I'm using an app, and I'll let the app write a lot of this. I just gave it my notes, and then it writes some of it. It doesn't always write it the way I want, and it leaves things out. So, let me give you my notes that's in my head. Bin Laden did come from a wealthy family. His father was a construction magnate, right? He did a lot of construction in Saudi Arabia. So my question really was like, yo, how the fuck does that happen? Like, his family was close with the royal family of Saudi Arabia. How do you end up the Osama bin Laden that we seen with the turban on the head and the army jacket? How the fuck do you end up like that, bro? If you have so much money and you're Saudi and you are the face of Afghanistan now. Well, it turns out there was a Soviet/Afghan war. United States, they were funding the Afghans, giving them support through, I think it was Pakistan. I'll look at my notes in a second. But they wasn't doing it directly, giving the money directly to Afghanistan. It was giving it to another country who was then breaking. They were taking the money and then they was giving certain groups the money. So, Soviet Union loses. Soviet Union loses and they withdraw. Now, here comes the problem. This is what I want everyone to see. And I don't know, I'm going to keep it 1,000 with you. I don't know if I disagree with Osama bin Laden's reasoning at the time. Now, let me read the notes down here that this apps gave, and if I don't agree with it, I'm going to give you my true interpretation. It says formation of Al-Qaeda, post-Soviet withdrawal, his networks consolidated into Al-Qaeda market. Well, that's a really oversimplification of what happened. Anti-U.S. ideology. You know what? Fuck these notes. What happened was the U.S. wanted a footprint over there, and they started setting up camps like they do in Saudi Arabia. Bin Laden is a Saudi. So we all know. Now I have some new members here, so I have to get this disclaimer. If you hear me say the white man over here, I'm talking about the oppressive white man. In order for you to be oppressive, you have to be able to make decisions that can affect somebody. So when I talk about the white man, I'm talking about the oppressive white man who is in a position to affect other people. If that is not you, right? If you're fucking Carl from my job, you're not the white man I'm talking about. Because obviously I have and will curse Carl out for saying the wrong shit. Right? So me and Carl laugh together. But don't overstep your boundaries, Carl, and I won't overstep mine. And furthermore, you're not in a position. I get paid more than you, Carl. I get paid 50 cents more than you. What the fuck are you talking about? I got more seniority than you. Shut up. Let's just make jokes and be friends. I'm not talking about you. Talk about the white man. Not white people, the white man. Now, I'm going to go out and make a assumption that Osama bin Laden was on to the white man's shenanigans. He wasn't stupid. He understood, okay, you gave us money because you wanted us to do your dirty work because you had fucking beef with the Soviets. That's cool. We don't mind doing none of that shit, right? Because it helped us out too. But now you overstepping your boundaries by having a military on our soil and you are not even Muslim. And that is what pissed Osama bin Laden off. It's like, wait a minute, you're not even Muslim. And we know how you get down. We know you are an evil bastard too. And I don't think this is a good idea to have you over here. Well, obviously, he didn't know. It wasn't going to be that simple and that easy. But Henry Kissinger, who I do believe is Jewish. I can look it up, but I'm more than sure that Henry Kissinger was Jewish. And he was a dangerous fucking man. And he had set up that petrodollar deal in the first place. So, even with Henry Kissinger being out of the picture, Henry Kissinger was never out of the fucking picture. And he was always running plays, even in his retirement. So the same people that gave you the money to... Well, let's backtrack a little bit. All the weapons that these Afghans had, because for some reason, Osama bin Laden got wrapped up in the radicalization, and he ended up over there somehow doing some type of training with the Afghans. He had a real administrative part over there. And he became a radical. But take away the religious part and all that other stuff. Well, you can't take it away. So this is what I want to say, because I have no religion. But I understand his standpoint if you do believe in something. And it's like, why do we got people over here that are not part of our group, not part of our culture, and they're like, you allow them to come over here, and we got the resources, we got the fucking oil. You couldn't understand it. And I'm gonna be very honest with you. I kind of agree with. I wouldn't have been down with that shit either, because you cannot trust them, and they will encroach and take. If you give them an inch, they will take a mile. And I think he's seen that shit. So after the whole Soviet Afghan war is over, and the U.S. decided to encroach upon and create a location over there, this radicalized some new extremists that we now today know as Al Qaeda. Now I'll go back to these bullshit notes that this app made for me. It says his core grievances stem from the presence of U.S. troops in Saudi Arabia and perceived American interference in Middle Eastern affairs. That part is true. That part is true. So, and I want to stop right there, America, because I asked for you to come. I asked for you to come here with me tonight. And the reason I asked for you to come with me here tonight and listen to me is because I wanted to point out, they only going to tell you what these people say. They say death to America, they're the worst people. But what I wanted you to know is, if we would have minded our fucking business, we would not have been in this situation. I just want you to understand this. We came up with some, I guess, good ideas at the time. The petrodollar, attaching it to petrol and this, that, and the third. But you would have to be a true diplomatic person, not a fucking maniac, to make that type of connection stand for a long time. The problem is the people who set this type of deal up, these people have died off. So you have new people that everyone doesn't have the same skill. You don't have any idea how often I see people lack people skills. And I did not think this was a real skill set. That's the crazy thing. So I told you I went to school and studied sociology. And I asked my counselor, I'm like, what the fuck am I going to do with a sociology degree? And then they told me, this is for my bachelor's. They told me, well, you know, this could be useful. And then they explained to me, there's a bunch of people that don't have people skills. They don't know people. And I said, damn, you're right. I said, you have no idea how people, they may know how to work the software, right? They may know how to do accounting, this, that, and the third. But there's so many people that are introverts. They don't want to talk. Fucking techs. Techs are the worst. IT people, the fucking worst. Right? They're like automatons. They don't know how to talk to regular fucking people. They're talking down on people, acting like somebody's supposed to know your nerdy ass fucking jargon. Nobody knows these words, bro. Break them down. So this is where I used to shine, because I would be able to see the breach of communication right away and be like, hey, so what Carl is saying is... And they'll be like, oh, okay. Yeah, Carl, you was about to fuck that all up, bro. And in his head, he's smarter than the whole world, and he really doesn't care. Even though you make more than him. Pete Hegseth is not the guy. I highly doubt he has the people skills. Donald Trump, obviously, his first administration, he did okay. He even went over to see Kim Jong-un. Like, he did okay the first administration. And I think in my heart he would have did okay this administration if he didn't take that money. And what the fuck did you need that money for anyway? You was already a billionaire. I don't understand why you took that money. I just don't understand. Why would you take that money? That money was not going to bring you any closer to being anywhere near the Rothschilds. So it wasn't even a lot of money for you to sell out for, because it wasn't going to make a dent in whatever your visions and your goals were. You could have did whatever you want to do after the presidency. You was going to do it anyway. Ridiculous. Leveraging global networks. Bin Laden skillfully utilized his inherited wealth, extensive networks, and the prevailing geopolitical landscape to build Al-Qaeda into a formidable global threat. So, even though, what I'm saying to you is, even though the CIA didn't say, okay, let's form a group called Al-Qaeda. If we would have never got involved, there would not have been a need for the Al-Qaeda to hate the United States. That's number one. But we think we're smarter than everybody, and we got involved, especially with the foreign aid shit. The U.S. aid, oh my God. We think we're so fucking smart. Let's give money. Let's give money to foreign countries. Let us carry on. Post-invasion. So now we discussed Al-Qaeda. Now we're going to move on. This is where I want you to get out your pen, Uncle Andy, because I didn't know this shit. Post-invasion Iraq. Policies and unintended consequences. Following the 2003 invasion, Paul Bremer, appointed by George W. Bush, enacted critical policies in Iraq. So let me explain to you. Let's not do a 9/11, right? We know something happened, and we don't believe the official story. Let's just leave it at that. Before the buildings fell to the ground, I promise you, in my head, I said Halliburton is we're going to go to war, and they're going to send Halliburton over there. I knew that. That's exactly what happened. As we're leaving, George Bush sends Paul Bremer over. He sends him over there to kind of handle the state of Iraq. I guess he trusted him. Like, yo, you got this. There was another general. I forgot his name. And I can look in my notes, but there was another general that had been working in Iraq, and he told Paul Bremer, listen, I got some advice for you. I think you should do it like this. But Paul Bremer did not take the advice of that general. And what he did was he excluded some members of the Sunni community. So my notes say Paul Bremer, appointed by George W. Bush, enacted critical policies in Iraq. These included disbanding the Iraqi army and removing the Ba'ath party members, many whom were Sunni Muslims, from government. Despite concerns from figures like Tommy Franks, that was the guy's name, Tommy Franks, which sounds fucking crazy. You can't tell me this guy's not from Brooklyn. Tommy Franks is your fucking name? That's crazy, bro. That's his government name, Tommy Franks. Jesus. You sound like a mobster? but you also sound like one of the characters from the Jerky Boys. It's fucking nuts. Anyway, despite concerns from figures like Tommy Franks about maintaining stability, these actions disenfranchise a large segment of the Sunni population, contributing to the resentment and fueling the insurgency, leading to the increased instability and conflict. Hold on one second. So, it says down here, the de-Baathification. Burma's ordered remove thousands of the Sunni party, the Ba'ath party members from state institutions, including many experienced Sunni administrators and officers. What else? Army disbandment. The Iraqi military was dissolved, leaving large numbers of armed, trained, and now unemployed men without a place in the new order. Resentment, humiliation, loss of status, political exclusion drove many former officers and soldiers into anti-occupation insurgency. Under Abu Musab al-Zarqawi, this insurgent ecosystem helped form the Al-Qaeda in Iraq, which we know as ISIS, a more lethal ideological extreme organization. So my point here is, because they're always going to tell you, these people, they're the most dangerous people, but they're never going to say, it's like having two kids and only one kid comes back and say, oh, she did this to me, she did this. And then they don't tell you what they did for that to happen. And I think for people in the United States, especially privileged people that are used to fast food and automated services and a structured system, I can get why you don't care and you want to be delusional. You say, well, fuck those people. However, before you say, well, fuck those people, I just want to bring to your attention that the system that we are now living under is shaky as a motherfucker. And we don't really need anything else unnecessarily. So before you say, well, fuck them motherfuckers anyway, do remember this could be your cousin that has to be packed up and go and fight in a war somewhere that we don't necessarily have to be in. But it is our culture to start shit in other in countries and then propagandize what really happens, lie to the American people. At the beginning of this fucking Iran war, did he not take a picture with a bunch of people? I even seen Ben Carson in this fucking picture. They were sitting around praying. And they call this a holy war. They thought you were that fucking stupid. But again, I told you last night they use your religion against you. He called it a holy war. A Christian holy war. Wow. Wow. Indoctrinate the people while they're filled with emotions of fear and the hatred that you instigated, American government, because you won't tell them the truth. You won't tell them you was somewhere starting shit that you didn't necessarily need to start. Now, as far as 9/11, If you haven't figured that story out by now, then you just don't want to. There's no need for me to explain what really happened on that. If you don't fucking know by now. The core program. What was this about? All right. So now we're going to talk about some of the things that were created based off the actions that took place. One of the things I would like to talk about is something called the Terrorist Surveillance Program. The Terrorist Surveillance Program. Authorized secretly by the Bush administration following the September 11th attacks, the TSP, Terrorist Surveillance Program, was run by the National Security Agency and operated outside the traditional legal framework governing domestic intelligence gathering. Now, what that's saying right there is this gave them cause, right? And I need you guys to pay attention because precedent is something that never happened before. If you're not familiar with the word precedent is like, oh, this is new. So we have to figure out how we're going to deal with this so that it never happens again. Let's have a way to deal with this. Fine. But if something's not going to happen naturally on its own, I had already told you, just in case you're thinking, no, America wouldn't do that. Easy, champion. Easy. Operation Northwoods. Operation Northwoods. The United States suggested that we kill our own fucking soldiers. Now, we didn't use it that day. But if something's not going to naturally happen on its own, and they have a plan, who is they? That's a good fucking question. We often hear of a cabal. That word is thrown around a lot. Cabal. That word is thrown around just as much as they. There's a bunch of theys. There's so many theys. You got the fucking Club of Rome. You got the Bilderberg Group. You got the Bavarian Illuminati. You got Skull and Bones. There's so many fucking theys. You got the Jesuits. So many theys. And you would think they're all working together. But I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think they're all working together. They're not that organized. But let me tell you something. I said it before earlier in this show. One thing that is very strong is something called ideology. That is the strongest. If you believe in something. And there are some people that believe that the true name of God is Lucifer. There are some people who believe that the true name of God is Lucifer. Lucifer, son of the morning. Now, I know right away you're thinking, the devil? All I'm saying is that some people believe that the true name of God is Lucifer. And Lucifer was here to enlighten the morning star. Didn't they call Lucifer the morning star? I got Boondocks in the house, so I'm sure he's typing away as we speak, so he will educate you on Lucifer. If there's anything that I can count on Boondocks to educate you on, it's fucking Saturn and Lucifer. Ideology. So, if you're not going to find out what your religion is about, there's some people out here that said, we know religion, for the most part, is bullshit. So, we're going to go off and we're going to go collectively. So, even though they're disenfranchised, the one thing that usually binds all these people together is a different ideology. I can't call it a religion, because it's not necessarily a religion, but it's what they believe. And they believe their way is better than... They have the answers, and you don't have the answers. You're better off as an automaton, a slave, if you will, a worker, a busy bee. These people are usually already in elite status of life. They come from money. They are in elite circles. It makes it a little bit easier. These are the same people who will go on to work in the high departments in media, movies, entertainment, law, health, military. It's not saying that if you came from nothing, you can't rise to these departments. You can, but you still have to be initiated. You have to go through initiation. You're still going to be outnumbered. Most of these people come from this long lineage. You understand? Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against spiritual wickedness. Governors in high places. In high places. For my common folk, I don't care what race you are, we need to stick together. Thank you for listening to me tonight. Because the only thing that will give us a shot in hell is us mobilizing together. But it won't be easy. I don't want to mislead you. There are a ton of things they can do to not just slow us down, stop us dead in our fucking tracks. One being a biological weapon, which they already tried to use. And, in case you didn't know, Bill Gates made a joke as if there'll be another one. There'll be another one. He's not deterred or saddened at all that the first plan didn't go through. He'll be back. And they have told us this through numerous of movies like World War Z, I Am Legend, The fucking Walking Dead. And because we don't do anything about it, they have taken this as consent. So, in fact, they will be back. But I just felt that you should probably know what's going on. to give yourself a fighting chance when it goes down. So I will educate you a little bit on how each administration does a little something to further the ideology of the group. See, it is not one president, one administration that's going to come in and does the whole thing. No, that's what makes this shit genius. Everybody's going to come in and do a little bit part, and you're going to barely see it because they're going to slice off a little bit of your rights little by little, right? And then walk away, and then you're going to feel like, oh, okay, that's over with. It's not over with. So while you play these stupid-ass Democratic, Republican games, they're the same fucking person. They're the same group. They're the same group. Hit the like button. Terrorist surveillance program authorized secretly by the Bush administration. He was Republican. Watch. He was Republican, right? The Bushes we know were Republicans. Watch what happens later on. Watch. What the program allowed: monitoring phone calls and emails. Communications of individuals inside the United States were intercepted. No FISA court warrants. Surveillance proceeded without judicial authorization from the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court. Fourth Amendment concerns. The program raised profound constitutional questions about unreasonable search and seizure protections for Americans. So as this was allegedly inspired and supposed to be addressing concerns for international and foreign matters, somehow the United States were using this outside of the boundaries and the framework of its intended use to use on Americans. That's you and I. That's you and I. Just keep on going. Hit the like button. Thank you for attending tonight. The legal problem. The Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, FISA. The Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, enacted in 1978, established a clear legal framework requiring government officials to obtain court-issued warrants before conducting domestic surveillance. The terrorist surveillance program, however, was operating entirely outside that framework, a fact that quietly alarmed senior officials inside the Justice Department. The legal requirement. FISA mandates judicial oversight and court-approved warrants for any domestic intelligence surveillance, even in national security contexts. The TSP, Terrorist Surveillance Program, key portions of the program bypass FISA entirely, operating under a broad and legally contested interpretation of executive wartime authority. Shout out to Brenda. We love you too. Winter. There's Winter. Winter. I don't know where you was. You here last night, Winter? You know I only did that show for you, right? All right, we got the family in the house. Uncle Andy's here. Winter's here. Boondock's here. This fucking guy's here, kicking up dust. DOJ's conclusion, 2004. All right, this is where, this is where things get kind of crazy, I think. By early 2004, senior Justice Department officials had reached the stark conclusion that portions of the program were not legally defensible. But check this out. This is where some shit got crazy. I love history. Because when you could look back at it, you're like, wait, what had happened? The hospital showdown, March 2004. I don't remember this, but I'm going to keep it real. 2004, I was probably on some bullshit time. 2004. 2001 was 9/11. Then I went off. I was doing all type of stupid shit. I was driving a cab. Then I was working for Rough Rider Records. Yeah, I don't know. I was not paying attention to none of this. I can tell you that. So to me, all of this is like new, and I had no idea what I'm about to tell you. Now, I know James Comey's name because he came out, like, didn't he go to jail or some crazy shit like that? Like, I remember his name. And I remember all their names. John Ashcroft, I remember that name. But I did not know what I'm about to tell you. So, what follows was one of the most dramatic confrontations in the history of modern executive branch. A clash between the White House and its own Justice Department that came to a head in the hospital room. Okay, John Ashcroft, he did not want to renew the program because he had found out that the program was being used outside the realms of it, like it was being used illegally. So, say what you want, but John Ashcroft, it looked like he was standing on business. It looked like he was standing on business. Here's the conspiracy theory. It's crazy. He's not on board. And then days later, he has a pancreas attack and he's hospitalized. We can look at this a couple of ways. We can look at this like, yo, he was out here eating at fucking Smith and Walensky's, you know, fucking $800 meals every night, fucking up his insides. We can look at it like that, right? Yo, you out here eating rich meats and strange cheeses every night on the government's tab. Or you don't want to sign it? We got ways of dealing with people like you. We get you right the fuck out the way. And the invisible bully steps in. And next thing you know, he has... is it kind of weird that days later... Mind you, at this time, the deadline for renewal is coming up. And John Ashcroft is saying, yo, I'm not resigning. I'm not renewing that terrorist program. We're not doing that. He has a pancreas attack. He's hospitalized in the hospital to the point he has to get sedated and is incapacitated. When this happened, Deputy AG James Comey now has to step in. Of course, the Bush administration thought they had a friend. They did not have a friend. And James Comey also is like, nah, I'm not signing that. Now it's going to look weird if both of them just have pancreas attacks or some strange, stupid shit happens to James Comey. Like, he has a car crash. Like, come on, CIA, you got to stop the bullshit at some point because it's just going to look crazy. So they put him in the AG position, but he doesn't want to sign it either. Dick Cheney tries to change the rules and the law to not need a fucking AG signature. And he tries to change it so that where the former AG would have signed off on this, now only they would need the White House counsel, who at the time was Alberto Gonzalez. And he was down to clown all around the town. He would say, I was playing hopscotch in 2000. I was doing something. I don't know what I was doing. I was down bad in 2004. I think I got a video of me driving a taxi in 2004. For sure. I was down bad. Trying to figure it out. Young kid running around trying to figure this shit out. Attorney General John Ashcroft had been hospitalized with gallstone pancreatitis, a serious debilitating illness. He was heavily sedated and in no condition to exercise the duties of his office. Under DOJ secession rules, authority had formally transferred to his deputy, James Comey. The TSP surveillance program was approaching its reauthorization deadline. Without a fresh legal certification from the Justice Department, the program would expire. The White House needed a signature, and Comey and DOJ leadership had made their position clear. They would not provide one. A rare act of institutional resistance. Senior Justice Department officials, including acting AG James Comey and FBI Director Robert Mueller, concluded that key elements of the TSP could not be certified as legal and refused to do so. I remember Robert Mueller's name too. Forgive my silence. I'm thinking about how I was so out of tune. Like I wasn't in the know in none of this. And now I'm really disappointed in myself. That's where the silence is coming from. Forgive me. I was wrapped up in some hip hop shit. And serious shit was going on that affects us all today. And I'm out here fucking chasing down poets day and night. Stupid. James Comey's authority. With Ashcroft hospitalized and incapacitated, Comey was the lawful acting attorney general. His refusal to certify carried the full legal weight of the office. The legal objection. The Department of Justice lawyers had reviewed the program and concluded that specific components lacked a sound legal basis. Certifying them would have required the department to defend a position it believed was legally untenable. Laughing at you guys' comments. The standoff begins. Rather than accept DOJ's judgment, the White House began exploring ways to route reauthorization around the Justice Department entirely. Let's just stop right there. Why was it so important to keep this terrorist surveillance program going if we had already recognized that we were using it domestically? So forget about the terrorists right now, right? The terrorists that we created, whether it's Al Qaeda or ISIS. We created these fucking extremist groups. So every time you hear someone say, "Oh yeah, but they're saying death to America," they have their fucking reasons. And I didn't even get to the private contractors that were basically mercenaries, that would do heinous crimes to get information out of these people and get these people to do things, which included mutilation, sexual atrocities in front of other family members. We've done a lot, and I hate when they propagandize in such a way to uneducated Americans and makes it seem like these people just hate us for no reason at all. They have a fucking reason to hate us. And it's not anything that I did personally or you did personally, but it's the people that represent us. The people who can blindly follow orders. And that's the other thing, parents. You have to be able to explain to your kids what's really going on in grade school, high school, secondary school. Explain to them. But maybe you can't explain because you don't know your fucking self. It's all a test to see who can follow orders blindly. And the better you can do that, then you have a good opportunity to move up. There's a book called The Spook Who Sat by the Door. You should read it. Explain to your kids what's really going on and explain to them the importance of playing like you have to play dumb, but I don't want you to be dumb. I just want you to play dumb. Because I'm not asking you to be a traitor to your country. No crazy shit like that. But the more you can play dumb, the higher you're going to go up. They're going to give you something called security clearance. They're going to separate you from everybody else. But there's a bunch of people that's not playing dumb that's really in these fucking groups, and they really think I'm just doing my job. I'm just doing my job. I'm just doing the orders. So there's a bunch of people who work for the government who they'll go and snatch somebody's kid out of their house that is not being neglected, saying they're just doing their job. And yet, when they were sent over there to do a fucking job, they couldn't even tell that this kid hadn't eaten for 2 weeks and was getting fucking beaten. Woe to those who will call right wrong and will call wrong right. Woe to those. Let's get back on track. Hit the like button for your boy. Legal objection. The DOJ had reviewed the program and concluded that the specific components lacked a sound legal basis. Certifying them would have required the department, I read that, standoff. Rather than accept the DOJ's judgment, the White House, they said, okay, we got to find a way around that. That was Cheney. He was on some bullshit. So, one night of March 10th, 2004, White House counsel Alberto Gonzales and Chief of Staff Andrew Card drove to George Washington University Hospital, where John Ashcroft lay gravely ill. This is days after he decided he was not going to sign the fucking renew the TSP. All of a sudden, he's gravely ill. I'm going to keep it 1,000 with you folks. This has the fucking CIA written all over it. And they can deny it. I don't want to hear your bullshit. You understand? I don't think there's that much coincidence in the world. But neither here or there. This guy's in the fucking hospital. You got Gonzalez and Andrew Card riding around like they on a fucking heist in American presidents, dead presidents, trying to figure some shit out. Their mission convinced the incapacitated Attorney General to override his own deputy and approve the surveillance program. Why would he do that? He did not want to do it in the first place. You thought you was going to go over there and he was going to be that drugged up that he was going to say, yeah. Wrong. Elaborate for me, Brenda. I'm missing something crazy. Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. Okay. Elaborate for me, Brenda. The attempt was extraordinary. And by most accounts, deeply inappropriate. Hello, very inappropriate. It reflected just how far the administration was willing to go to preserve the program and how seriously the DOJ leadership viewed the legal stakes. Well, my question that I want you to ask yourself, America, is why did they want this program so bad? They wanted this program bad, Jack. It meant a lot. Ashcroft's response. Even while weak and seriously ill, Ashcroft reportedly sat up, clearly stated he would not approve the program, and pointedly reminded the visitors that James Comey was the acting Attorney General. Thank God. And that Comey had already said no. Authority had already shifted. Ashcroft's illness had legally transferred authority to Comey. Even if Ashcroft wanted to sign, his signature would have carried no legal weight as AG. Correct, Ashcroft. A clear no from the bedside. Despite the pressure of two senior White House officials at his bedside, Ashcroft did not capitulate, a remarkable act of institutional integrity under duress. The door closed. With Ashcroft's refusal, the White House had failed in its attempt to outmaneuver DOJ's legal objections through the incapacitated AG. And here we have a clear demonstration of what Donald J. Trump once called the deep state. It was you, Donald Trump. It was you who came to us and informed us for the first time on national syndicated television that there was such a thing as a deep state, a shadow government. Before you said anything, we were saying it at barbecues. We were saying it at board games with family. You know, we'd get together and families were playing. We would say this shit in barbershops, but we would not say it. No one said it on a TV show. No one said it in public. At a speech, you, my friend, you have inspired many to be so politically incorrect. I don't know why you went off the rails. You could have been somebody big in history, but you've let it all go to shit by sucking off Netanyahu. But that's neither here or there. This is clearly signs of some type of shadow government deep state doing some shenanigans. What happened next? The crisis inside DOJ. Resignation threat. James Comey, FBI Director Robert Mueller, and a number of other senior Justice Department officials were prepared to resign if the White House proceeded with the reauthorization over DOJ's explicit legal objections. This collective threat represented an extraordinary moment of institutional defiance. We needed that. We needed someone to step up at the time and say, no, this is you're encroaching on the rights of American citizens, and you're doing it in a sneaky way. And we won't stand for it. Bush blinks. Facing the prospect of a catastrophic public collapse of his own Justice Department, President Bush ultimately directed that the program be modified to address DOJ's legal concerns. The mass resignation never occurred, but the standoff have revealed the depth of internal conflict over the administration's surveillance policies. Now, let me explain what happened. There wasn't supposed to be that much focus on this. Once, because of the controversy, now it has the media, it has the citizens, local media, local newspapers, and shout out to all the smaller media platforms. Because back in the days, you were not the heroes, but today you are, right? Today, because we don't trust these syndicated media conglomerates because their owners are fascists and despicable capitalists. I don't mind capitalism, but sometimes people get too big, and for sure their capitalism will convert to fascism, for sure. 2004, year of the standoff. The hospital confrontation and DOJ's crisis unfolded in March, 3 years after 9/11. Okay. Officials ready to sign. Let's just move on here. Mm-hmm. Yes. So, this effing guy. Yes. Boondocks. Yes. Brenda. Yes. That's why I do this show. And for the people that's watching, you're going to have to get used to me doing... I break up the show. People that watch, they know. So I may have like a title, and I may talk about that in the beginning, but then the second part, I don't talk about that shit at all. I talk about something totally different. And I do go into detail a lot about other things, right? But the way YouTube is set up, if I told you what I really wanted to talk about, you wouldn't even find this channel. I promise you. They would hide this shit so deep, and you'd be like, no, I'm a member. It don't fucking matter. They're not going to let you know when I dropped a video. They're not going to let you know. So I've just learned to work around their bullshit, right? I hate to do it like that, but this is what we do. Anyway, I'm going to get back to the comments in a second. And shout out to George Carlin. He was definitely... So, there was a few intelligent comedians that just... They were gifted with the ability to politicize comedy George Carlin, obviously Dave Chappelle. Dick Gregory. Believe it or not, Richard Pryor, I seen a lot of Richard Pryor's jokes where I didn't think he was that conscious. And it was like, when he did these certain jokes, it was like, holy shit. Like, I guess I just seen his other, Richard, he had a foul mouth at times and foul jokes, but he can get pretty conscious, right? So I was surprised by that. It says, confirmed, White House sought workarounds. The administration actively explored alternative legal routes and ways to move around reauthorization forward despite the DOJ's refusal. Okay. I want to go to another one. Okay, here we go. This is what I wanted to get to. Because it didn't stop there. And this is what I wanted to point out to everybody tonight before I end my show. Because that was a Republican who did his part. And I told you before, it's the same bird, just two different wings. So the terrorist surveillance program crisis was not an isolated incident. It exposed a deep and enduring tension in American law. How far can the executive branch go in the name of national security, and who checks that power? Great question. The episode demonstrated the willingness of post 9/11 administrations to push the boundaries of legal authority and the critical role of internal institutional actors in providing a check. Now check this out. The 2012 NDAA controversy. The surveillance debate did not end with Bush. Of course not. Critics, including the American Civil Liberties Union, argued that the 2012 NDAA signed by President Obama expanded or affirmed detention powers they view as unconstitutional under sections 1021 and 1022. Some of these, now listen to this. I need you guys to listen, especially to my religious people. Because while you're playing these fucking stupid ass political games, I'm a Democrat, I'm a Republican, fuck all that. They're working together to strip you of your rights, and the way they're doing it, you're not even noticing it is being done. It's like a game of 3-card Monty. You don't know where the card is. They said Obama was a good president. I didn't really care for him. I voted for him the first time because he was black. Scout's honor. I did. In my opinion, there was more fucking shootings. There was more black people's rights that was violated under Obama, in my opinion. And this is just my opinion. That's why I keep on saying my opinion. Than any other president. And it frustrated me that he wouldn't even say shit. And maybe he did in the media, just didn't show us that. Maybe if I sat down with him at Tavern on the Green, on his tab, of course. I'm not paying for that meeting. If he invites me. And explains to me, no, I said it a bunch of times, but they never showed that. But I don't know, bro. I never seen you say shit about how the fraternalized police department Yes, the police department that the United States of America fraternalized to become some type of paramilitary, because that's what was happening when they passed the 1965 Law Enforcement Assistance Act. Law Enforcement Assistance Act in 1965, when they started giving funding, the federal government started giving funding to all the local police departments. Then after that, they had all these bullshit grants that they were giving, right? And then they would give the training with the grants on tanks and fucking automatic weapons. Who are you using these things on? Where are you using this fucking tank, my friend? So it was very obvious that the government was training these police officers not because they wanted them to clean up the streets and the crime and be prepared in case a crackhead runs down on them with a fucking syringe. Hey, listen, bro, you're gonna need a tank. You're gonna be glad I gave you this tank when the crackheads come. It's all fun and games till somebody can stick with a syringe. No. This was because they had this plan fucking decades ago. Remember? And that movie by that Denzel Washington was in. He said, You've been planning this all day. He said, son, I've been planning this all week. Oh, you are welcome here, Brenda. Brenda, this is called the Society. So let me just explain this. We have Muslims here. We have Christians here. We have atheists here. We have gays. We don't have any child molesters here. These are the only people we don't let over here. Here's the other thing, Brenda. I'm going to talk about everybody. I talk about blacks. I talk about whites. I talk about gays. I talk about everybody. Well, everybody is cap. I don't really talk about mentally ill people. But everybody else that I feel can stand up for themselves, I talk about. And I might use some words that people may not like, that are, let's just say, politically incorrect. So, long story short, everybody pretty much has tough skin over here. You will get into debates, and you have to hold your own. And it's okay. I let the debates go on. But guess what? We are all here the next show with each other again. This happens all the time over here, and it's not a problem. I don't agree with Boondocks all the time. He don't agree with me. And he's over here, right? I'm constantly talking about people's religion, and they're back over here. Because we pride ourselves on critical thinking. So that's the thing about a debate. I have a critical thought, you have a critical thought, and we have to bring our evidence to the forefront. So just be prepared to protect your argument in the chat. That's all. But you are definitely welcome. You're going to be welcome. You can just protect your own argument. That's it. And go get him, champ. Slap you in the ass real quick, Brenda. Bah. You got this, champ. Go get him. You're going to be all right. Now, Obama clearly was on some bullshit. Indefinite detention. Civil liberties advocates warn the NDAA could authorize indefinite detention without trial. This is for you. This is for you. You U.S. citizens? This is what your precious Obama, oh, the first black president, he did such a tremendous job. Really, I only hear that rhetoric from black people. I don't know. It's usually just black people I hear that fucking rhetoric from. Huh? I'm going to keep it at that. I don't hear that many white people running around talking about, oh, Obama did a tremendous job. On fucking what? Civil liberties advocates warn the NDAA could authorize indefinite detention without trial, potentially including U.S. citizens, blurring the line between civilian and military legal authority. So, in my opinion, these people have been slowly stacking the deck so that when the time comes, because they obviously knew that the time would have to come for the empire to shift, and when that time comes, they would have preferred, in my opinion, that the one world control be in place. But that doesn't happen without a few things breaking. They say if you want to make an you can't make an omelet without breaking a few eggs. Well, they definitely tried to get you to give up your own guns. They tried. I mean, how many schools do they need to fucking shoot up in a psyop for white women to stand up and mandate that their husbands give up their guns? Because can't you see at this point what it is doing to the community? And that's who they were banking on. They were banking on the Karens, the white woman. But she would not do it. She's only going so far, Jack. Yeah. You shot up some kids, but I don't know about giving up my goddamn guns. I'm not stupid. And then they just kept on doing this shit until they realized, okay, this shit is not going to work. We cannot use the black woman, obviously. Right? Because they didn't really give a fuck about bringing peace to where they didn't care about the violence and all of that. All of those shootings was about stopping automatic weapons and semi-automatic rifles. Because when the time comes, they don't want the people to be able to fight back. Roby is hilarious. Roby snitched me out. I've heard him talk about retards several times. He's a fucking liar. Listen to him. Saladin, you talk about the retards. You don't. Yo, bro. I said I don't talk about the mentally ill tonight. Okay. Maybe I do, but you have to admit I always stand up for one particular group. And I'm very proud of this. I do stand up for autistic, right? So when I said mentally ill, I was really talking about the autistic. Yes, I do talk about other mentally ill people who we will name retarded, but I want to distinguish that is not the autistic. We must protect them. That's the group I protect. I cannot protect I would never protect trans. You fucking kidding me? That's the one group I'm protecting. The autistic. And the soft spot comes in. I don't know why this. I'm going to assume subconsciously, because I truly believe this America, our bullshit FDA has not fucking protected us. You know how many families I know with like autistic children, and I feel like it's something in the inoculation. I'm not supposed to talk about this, by the way, so I'm saying I feel like it's something in the inoculation. I feel like it's things in the food. I feel like it's things in the birth, in the milk, the Enfamil, the Similac, all of this stupid shit, and they're not doing. We have a department who's supposed to be looking at these things, and they're not. And I think it's going to come out later on, but it's going to be too late. You understand? The research that I've done on the inoculations from the late 70s, early 80s, them shits would fill with mercury. And that's how my first channel got taken, so I'm not going to go there. But all I'm going to say is I did that research. I brought it to YouTube. I was happy and proud and was like, yo, I'm going to let everybody know, you understand all of the downsides to that. And YouTube snatched my shit so fast. And I was like, yo, what's up with that? And all they said was, yo, you should read the guidelines. You can't talk about certain things. And I'm like, why would you even make a fucking guideline like that I can't talk about? Why would you put specifically, I can't talk about the connection between vaccines and autism? That is fucking evil. That's evil. Why would that be in your paperwork? Why would that... Specifically, it was there. That's the crazy shit. When I went back and looked, it was there. And I was like, God damn. What type of evil ass fucking people are we dealing with? No, I did not see that. That's crazy. That's crazy. Easy to sell. See? I let you have a little fun, and then this effing guy, he gets crazy. He just wants to go off on one people. He got it. You gotta chill, this effing guy. You gotta chill. That's crazy. This guy just wants to go off on one group the whole show. Chill. Constitutional amendments at stake. At the heart of these controversies, from the terrorist surveillance program to the NDAA, lies a direct conflict with foundational constitutional protections. Critics argue that both surveillance and detention policies tested the limits of the Bill of Rights. Fourth Amendment, protection from unreasonable search and seizure challenged by warrantless NSA surveillance. And this is the erosion that I'm talking about. Fifth Amendment, due process rights, challenged by indefinite detention and NDAA. By the way, the 2012 NDAA, they can arrest without any cause, lock you up, no due process. That thing is a mess. So for anybody who's talking about Obama did good, he did very bad by implementing that. Sixth Amendment, right to a speedy trial challenged by military detention. So, hold on one second. My fault. All right. So I think we've done enough time here. What time? Yeah, we are actually a half an hour over the limit. So let me just end the show like this. I started the show tonight because we have no idea what's going on with this ceasefire. It was supposed to be a ceasefire, which didn't even last 24 hours. And mainly, I think it didn't last that long because Israel was like, they're not going out like that. Fuck what the United States is talking about. There will be no ceasefire, and we're going to set it on Hezbollah, who is actively, allegedly staying or centered in Lebanon right now. However, China has given its statement, and it quietly said, we have nukes that will get anywhere. So, whatever you're planning for the people of Lebanon, you need to back away. And again, I want to remind everybody that I never thought it was going to go too far because of the Belt and Initiative road that China has invested in. But they're very... You talk about some cool as a cucumber. Like, they just sit back and wait. They're not going to get too emotional. But when I seen them the other day, let everybody know, and by everybody I mean Israel, know that, alright, we got nukes, and we will use them shits, and they can reach. And when they said they could reach, I really think they was talking to the United States. I do. I think a lot of pressure. Donald Trump has to be feeling a lot of pressure right now from the companies who utilize the strait, and they have to pay $2 million collectively, a barge for their stuff to come through. Right? And how long can you do that before you really taking an L? So he's getting all type of phone calls, but at the same time, he owes Israel this money, right? Now here's the thing. Donald Trump is nothing but just a billionaire. They're killing billionaires left and right. Remember all the billionaires who died in a submarine accident? Some bullshit, janky ass submarine accident too. I don't know how they convinced those billionaires to get in there. I would have never gotten that shit. It's some things you just gotta not do in life, and that was one of them. Right? So do remember, something happened to John Ashcroft. If you want to think that he just had a pancreas attack out of nowhere, I don't fault you, right? It can't always be a conspiracy theory. However, I am a proud conspiracy theorist, and I'm here for it. So I do not think that all of a sudden he was so stressed out that his gallbladder just bursted. And no. I'm going to stick with my conspiracies that CIA was involved. It doesn't make it true. Just because you repeat something doesn't make it true. This effing guy says, yes, it does. It does. All right. What are we doing? Are we playing a song before I get out of here? Maybe. I'm trying to think of before I get out of here to wrap it up. at the end of the day, I don't know what Trump is really thinking. I think he's definitely in a quagmire position because he has an obligation, obviously, to perform like he cares about the people of America. He does not care about us. If you can't see that, that's evident. But it's not so much us. It is to a bunch of the capitalists. They'll string them up, and the Israelis will take him out. Fucking Mossad will take him out. Fucking stupid ass looking Baron, docile in the face looking Baron, take him silly ass right out. And I think he's nervous about that. Like, somebody's gonna catch it, bro. Somebody's gonna catch. If you don't fucking do what we say and we gave you that money, either give us the money back, and we don't want the money back. That's the thing. We got money. We don't give a shit. We wipe our ass with that money we gave you. That money is nothing. You took it. So he's out here about to win a stupid prize for playing a stupid game, and he's stuck. What can he do? If he doesn't do what they say, it's the Mossad. They will fucking get him. They will get him. So he's in between a rock and a hard place. And dumbass Netanyahu is out here. He broke already. The contract is broken. One day he's firing on. So I don't know what's gonna happen. It looked good for a moment, and now we have to wait it out again. My name is Jamel Saladin. This is Society, past, present, and future. I'm getting out of here. Let me see if I can find a song from my new album that I keep promising is going to come out, and obviously has not come out yet. All right. I do have a song. I do have a song that will be on the album I've been listening to. And I don't know if I played it for you yet. I'm going to play it right now. I'm going to find it. Oh, Swing It High. Swing It High is kind of jazzy, but I don't want to play that right now. Swing It High is jazzy. Hold on. Did I pass it already? It's not this far down. I don't know where it is. I know it's not this far down. This is crazy. All right, hold on one second. I got a lot of jazz stuff on here, but I'm not gonna end the night on jazz. Good Time. It's called Good Time, isn't it? Yep, it's called Good Time. Give me 1 second. It's called Good Time. Called Good Times. Alright, this is not it. Alright, let me search for it. Good. That's crazy. I don't see it. But I see it on my phone all the time. Observing the 6. Peace, bro. Thanks for coming through. I just want to see if I can find this song before I end the show. I play it all the time in my truck. Just you? Maybe that is it. I didn't think it was. Okay. I'll push the play button, but I just didn't think that was it. Hold up. Don't push the play button. Because I still don't think that's it. I listen to this song every day almost. And now, when I want to play it for you guys, it's nowhere to be found. And I think I would know. Let me listen to it. So the way I'm doing my album, that is really a part of a song, and then there's an interlude that goes between that, and then the real song comes on. So give me a second. I didn't think that was the song, and that was the song. Crazy. I gotta get rid of some of these songs tomorrow, or at least put them in the folder so I know what's going on. This is crazy. I got well over 100 songs here, and I keep saying I'm gonna put them in an album. How? I got way too many songs. There we go.
Yes, we're having better, and I'm loving on you better, and you're loving on me. Yes, we're having better, loving on we, loving on me, loving on me. Loving on me. Yes, we had time. Yes, we'll have a good time.
I didn't write lyrics to this song yet, as you can see. But I like how it sounds.
As I'm loving on you, and you're loving on Yes, we'll have a good time. Loving on we. Loving on me. Ooh, loving on we.
I'm a person who listens to instruments a lot, so when I listen to a song, I'm listening to the bass, I'm listening to the strings. I was brought up in like a musician household, so I'm hearing things that I'm listening to things nobody else is listening to. So when I'm listening to this, even though I'm a songwriter, I'm not really. I didn't finish writing this song yet, but I'm listening to the arrangement, so I rock out to this song all the time. So what I am going to do, no BS. I know I've been telling y'all this for a minute. Friday, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to decide which one of these songs is really going on the album so that we can just put this album out. It's going to be volume 1. It has to be volume 1 because I got, like I said, I think I might have like 200 songs at this point. It's really ridiculous. So we got to put these songs out. Even if I got to dump them like 30 songs at a time, don't worry. It's going to be for the low. It's not going to be nothing crazy. You're going to be able to afford it. It's probably going to be like $4.99 for 30 songs. 30 songs, you get like gospel, funk, jazz. All right. Anyway, I'm about to go lay it down. Thanks for making this show special. Another one we knocked out the park. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. You understand? You make what I do fun. So I appreciate you. Without you, I don't enjoy what I do. But you keep on coming over so you enjoy my humor when nobody else gets it. You get me. You know what I'm saying? Fucking Roby called me out and I said I didn't talk about the mentally ill. That was hilarious. He was like, he does talk about the mentally ill all the time. I'm here on time. He talks about it. That shit was hilarious. Appreciate you guys. You have a good night. All right? Peace out.